apply their unique expertise in digital public infrastructure in order to generate solutions that will enhance the entrenchment of data sovereignty, both in Kenya and throughout Africa, as we learn from best practice across the globe. Data privacy for registered persons is an essential component of our public mandate, and we must take every possible measure to safeguard it at all times. We operate in an environment of escalating resource constraints, and yet, at the same time, we cannot postpone or downgrade our identity management endeavors. Our development partners, therefore, have an opportunity to explore possible areas of collaboration with our state departments for immigration and citizen services to support our identity management programs. And I want to say here that we're looking at all options when we are discussing resource constraints, among them public-private partnerships, joint ventures, and other interventions that will bring the private sector to provide public service in a manner that is affordable and in a manner where there is shared outcomes, shared profits, and bringing the expertise and professionalism of the private sector into the delivery of public goods and services. I also want to address myself to one or two other issues that could come in the way of the delivery of what we are discussing in this meeting. Climate change is a huge component of what influences the availability, the deployment of public goods and services. When governments have to divert resources that are meant for the delivery of public goods, including education, including water, including health, and sometimes including the subject of digital ecosystem, to be able to provide for the vagaries of what climate change has visited on us, we need to have a conversation. And I want to say, those of us from the continent of Africa, we want to have a candid conversation on how we can leverage on the huge resources we have, especially energy resources, from wind, from solar, from hydro, from geothermal, to be able to sort out the big question of energy that is influencing world development. Africa can become a critical player in sorting out the challenge of climate change. We need to listen to what we are saying, and we want not a finger pointing, not a blame game. We want a win-win outcome out of this conversation. We want, as a continent, to bring the assets that we have, the energy resources that we have. We want others to come with technology, to come with investment, and have a conversation as to how we can not only deliver clean, green energy in the African continent, but we can also help other continents to be able to overcome their challenges of fossil fuel energy by exporting some of our resources through hydrogen technology to other parts of the world and sort out the big question of climate change using climate financing, climate investment. 2 days, a week ago, I was discussing with the Prime Minister of Singapore how Kenya can assist Singapore in selling them some of our carbon credits to manage their own situation. This is the kind of discussion we want to have so that we can have a win-win, because we have only one globe to share. It is not the North versus the South. It is not Africa versus other continents. We have only one globe for all of us to share. We are in it together. Either we are sinking together or we are floating together. And I think I choose we float together. I also want to tell our good friends who are partners with us, we appreciate the investment and the opportunity to work with others in our continent. And it's the right thing to do. It's also good for us to know that Africa is the continent of the future. By 2050, a quarter of the world's population will be living in Africa. We will have developed a very big market. It is the youngest continent with a GDP of 3.5 trillion. We are currently consolidating, as African leaders, we are consolidating Africa into a single market. In fact, through the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, Africa will be the largest single market by 2050 in the world. Any business person, any entrepreneur, any technology provider must know where the future is for you to begin to make the necessary investments and to begin to have the necessary network for you to have yourself properly positioned in the continent of the future. And we will be open for business, and we are looking for a win-win formula that will harness all our potentials, build on the successes, build on best practice, and be able to support not just our continent, but to support humanity in making sure that we have a secure, we have a prosperous globe for us, for all of us to share. Finally, let me mention one more thing, because I have the benefit of many African leaders in this room. That we are also having a conversation about an ecosystem that is going to fairly give everybody an opportunity to be their best. We will be discussing in Paris shortly the international financial system and a new deal that will bring lenders and borrowers together. Because the lender cannot do without the borrower, and the borrower cannot do without the lender. But there must be a mutual win-win outcome for it to be sustainable. That's the conversation we will be having to discuss a new international financial system that gives opportunity for every part of the world. At the moment, our very considered view is the current international financial system is rigged against some, where other sovereigns access international financial resources at less than 1%, others access with more than 10%. When you are trying to deliver public goods, you cannot do it in a system where one pays 100 times more than the other. And we are not asking for a financial system that favors anybody. We are asking for a fair one that gives everybody a chance. This is the conversation we are going to have, and I am very happy that the people who will work with us, even as you think about identity, you must also know that we share one globe, and we are all on the same side. Once more, I affirm my profound delight at being able to participate in this timely, appropriate, and fundamentally transformational conference. I wish you fruitful deliberations and look forward to the outcomes of your